Well, I'm not going to say that UFC Vegas 39 was exactly a lackluster card. I guess it wasn't the best that we could get, but there's still some really solid fights, and honestly, it was kind of nice having at least Mountain Time, the best time, of course, a 2 p.m. main card start time. It kind of threw me off, but we had plenty of night to experience. I know, Blake, you were a little busy this weekend. I mean, shoot, might have to put you on the name of the week, but ladies and gentlemen,
I'm definitely up there, bro. I'm in the running for it.
he said someone lost his phone at the concert. What you said? Blame Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah,
Was he actually there?
I think I ran into a little karma. I was talking crap all week. I went to Aftershock, which is like a hard rock concert or festival in Sacramento, California, if you guys are not aware. And yeah, MGK has been, getting in a little back and forth with members of Slipknot and other, prominent
Man,
heavy metal bands and stuff like that.
Messing with Slipknot.
I don't know. And so Aftershock is, like I said, hard rock, heavy metal based concert. And so I was expecting everyone to be booing him and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to be booing him too, just because I'm an instigator. I like to see if people are going to cry or not. And I think that is honestly why the universe put it into the cards that I was going to lose my phone that night. Went in the mosh, was having a great time during MGK's set, actually. Like the complete opposite of what I was expecting. It was phenomenal. And I guess I just got taken advantage of.
Man, if only Conor McGregor was there to save us. He was only trying to help, Blake. He was only trying to help a few weeks ago, damn it.
If Conor was there, I wouldn't have lost my phone for sure.
If only you saw Nate Diaz again there.
Oh, I know.
I remember that one.
You never know who you're going to run into at Aftershock. It's pretty cool.
Nate Diaz, Diaz Militia, a little metal militia there too.
The Nick Diaz army.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, let's stop talking about our phones getting stolen and Machine Gun Kelly getting punched by Conor McGregor, because we have some fights to talk about. Not only UFC Vegas 39, a little bit there. Take a look at UFC Vegas 40, and I know 2 cards and might not exactly be the best, but this is all in preparation. We're only a couple weeks away now from back-to-back UFC pay-per-views, and ones that are pretty stacked, and we're going to have a phenomenal rest of the year in terms of fight cards here. But of course, I'm your host, Ross Allen, joined alongside by the fourth and long UFC correspondent, Blake Campbell. Now has a new phone, so you might have seen him. He was kind of MIA over on Twitter and Instagram this weekend, but he's back. He's back in action as of today, so you can go ahead and hit him up because he's always down for an argument there. Of course, you can find all of our stuff at Fourth Long Radio over on Twitter. They were most frequent. And oh boy, not only do we have a couple cards to take a look at here, but we have some news because the matchmakers have been on fire. We're finally getting the grudge match. Little 3-piece Minnesota. We're finally going to get a little bit of resolution to that, quite possibly, unless Leon Edwards goes poking people in the eyes again. Colorado State Athletic Commission has voted to adopt open scoring for MMA and boxing fights. And Josh Emmett, of course, one of the hardest hitting 145-pounders in the world. He's almost back. I hope he didn't forget about him. Here's what we want to see from him, though, in his return fight. Of course, before we get into things, you can check out anything Fourth Long MMA related over at thefourthandlong.com/MMA. Got an interview coming out on Friday of this week with MMA fighter Jared the Bear Fiorda, a man with a fantastic story of how he's essentially using his fight career to run his and build up his nonprofit free MMA gyms, which essentially his goal is to provide at least one MMA gym in each state in the country, and it's completely for free. So go ahead and check that one out once it drops, like I said, on Friday. And then Blake, I still have to get that strap to you. It takes a while to ship sometimes. But, we have a brand new merchandise collection. We finally have our MMA-themed gear with the Certified Banger collection. So I know, Blake, you a little sexy there. You know how to put my boys a little shtick on that shirt, right?
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's good stuff. Tri-blend tees, long sleeves, and hoodies. So go ahead, get hooked up there, of course. You can find it at thefourthandlong.com/apparel. But let's get into things, Blake. And I know you had a little bit of a harder time trying to pick out your bangers for this one. The Bengals actually almost collapsed here. I had to delay the posting because I had to go back and remake the graphic because we had a fight fall through with Haas and Win, and then we almost lost Brown and Gooden because of a weight miss. But we still got 3 of them. We still got 3 good ones. So like usual, Blake, did the bangers hit?
I think we can all agree this is probably my weakest week.
It's not necessarily your fault though. I'm not gonna put all the blame on you, but just most of it.
Yeah, I expect I have a high standard for myself, and I expect better. So I can only just promise to be better moving forward. And I humbly ask for your guys' forgiveness.
I hate you so much. You really had to come out with the most generic apology. Oh, you sound like John Jones right now. Sweet damn. Wait, no. You don't even sound like John Jones. He'd even apologize.
I'm looking out for the fans. I want them to be able to trust the bangers each week. I don't want to, leave a sour taste in their mouth and have them think I'm leading them to poisoned water, so to say. So, I apologize. I'm going to try to make sure I pick better fist fights from now on.
Oh, you'll get your chance later in this one for UFC Vegas 40. I'm sure the cards after this one, you're going to have a bit of an easier time as well. The challenge is, it's always nice when you have the cards where the challenge is not trying to find the 3 that are going to hit, but just trying to pick 3. So, Blake, a little off day and a little easier roads are coming ahead soon. But let's take a look at UFC Vegas 39 here. Some of the winners. One of the first fighters I want to talk about, all on the main card here, was Marina Agapova. I mean, sure, that name is, if you watch this card, it's concreted and stamped onto your brain now with how many times the commentators there were repeating Agapova there at the beginning. But, man, she put a beating on Sabina Mazo, and she looked really good, not on the feet, but also got a submission there in as well. And so she looks like she might be on her way to rolling with some of the top dogs in that division, in the flyweight division there. It's not like there's too much competition for the champion at the top right now. So who knows? Sometimes these hot contenders might just get pushed up the rankings a little bit quicker so that Valentina can have some fresh blood. What do you think about that?
I think that's, if you string a few wins together, I completely agree. In that division, it's just, it's still pretty new. And like you said, the top of the division's already kind of been sifted through by Valentina. It's already getting to the point to where
through, clawed through, or absolutely flat.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and we're getting to the point to where it's basically rematch time almost.
Yeah,
so
kind of almost at
and all the
levels.
Yeah, and like all the other top contenders that they were pushing, like Calvillo and who was the other one? The Scottish girl.
Joanne Calderwood.
Yes, Calderwood. Thank you. They both didn't win their big fights, so that kind of puts a damper on their title shot hopes. So yeah, I think maybe another win or two, and she'll probably get a top contender fight, and then be on her way to fighting for the title. It doesn't take much in this division.
Right, has been in the UFC for very long, and put together a few wins. Hey, you want a title shot? You want? Hey, just go ahead, give your best effort. We got the rubies ready for Valentina anyway, so go get a paycheck.
Yeah, and I mean, especially if she's getting finishes, that's the main thing. If she's getting finishes, then it's gonna be an easy path.
Mm-hmm. Now, the next one I want to talk about here is Mattheus Nikolao, because obviously this is one of the bangers, and it definitely hit. This is a really close and high-paced, high-action fight here, with his win over Tim Elliott, a really close fight. And man, it was a really good one. This is probably my fight of the night, if I'm being honest here, and I was a huge fan, and it was a really close decision. He got that, and now he's on a 5-fight winning streak and really climbing up that division. So you think he's kind of a guy that might be getting into like some legit fights coming soon, maybe some contender stuff, or it's still some time to go here?
It's definitely a good win. He's 2-1 in his last 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think definitely. After beating Tim Elliott, you can start to reach towards the top 10, top 15 in the flyweight division for sure.
Yep. And one of the craziest things here is, of course, Tim Elliott's coach here. He was so there was, of course, with that win in Haas fight. Yeah, James Krause trying to fill in for that fight on like 2-day notice.
Yeah,
That's a badass move, man. James Krause don't give a damn.
yeah, he's a fighter's fighter. That's really all you can do is respect a guy like that just is willing to lay it all out there on the line, take any opportunity that presents itself.
And remember, the only reason he didn't fight at UFC Vegas 39 is because of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They just won't let him. He was legit gonna fight.
Yeah, that guy's insane. All respect to that man, dude. And the fact that he was still going to be coaching and was going to make weight and then fight, like it's a whole all around crazy ordeal.
I don't understand it, man. Pretty much like put him in the same conversation as Dan Hooker is just all around badass taking fights that just need to be filled. Now, of course, let's talk about the main event with this one, too. Of course, a pretty big fight between Mackenzie Dern and Marina Rodriguez. Both of them have been making a very steady climb up the rankings here. And it was about damn time that they met and, someone had to budge. And this was essentially maybe like now either one is probably going to be one fight away from a title shot. And now that's Marina Rodriguez. As she puts on effectively a striking clinic against Mackenzie Dern here, and she solidly won this fight, and she's put herself into title contention next. And there is just one fight that I need to see, Blake. I don't know if she's fighting. I know Rodriguez made clear that she shouldn't even be ranked since she's not fighting, but just imagine the striking battle that we can get with Rodriguez versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
That would be something special for sure.
That's a fight of the year candidate right there. What do you think about this fight, though? And what about how is Marina looking for the future? Maybe in terms of title contention here as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely. I want to say Esparza is still ahead of her.
Yeah, Esparza is still ahead of her, and that's
Whaley got that weird rematch. I mean,
should have been Esparza totally the title shot. That ruined things.
But whatever. Man, Rodriguez is going to be a freaking issue for this division, man. She's big for the strawweights.
She's lanky, man. She is a long woman.
I mean, she's just piecing people up too. So it's going to be gnarly for whoever fights her next because she is on a fast track to get into that title shot.
Man, just give her Joanna, because obviously her next fight is going to have to be it's going to be a title eliminator for sure, and at this point, there's not necessarily a whole lot you can do because, of course, like you said, Blake, that weird how we're getting the rematch with Whaley and Rose, which is still going to be a great fight, but I didn't really need it. Joanna makes a lot of sense here. Don't know if she's fine. She made clear that she only wants title shots. And then the only other person from Marina Rodriguez is Carla Esparza. So do you think
they've already fought and Esparza beat her?
Yeah. So do you think they fight again, or does Esparza just wait for the title shot? Or how do you think this whole kind of situation plays out here?
Rodriguez has fought 3 times this year already. So, I mean, I think she could probably be okay with sitting it out for a little bit and seeing how where the chips fall.
Maybe fight the loser of Whaley and Rose.
That could be a potential option. Or Joanna. I don't know what Joanna's doing. But I'd say those 2 fights are probably the biggest. I would say the 2 biggest options out there: the loser of the title fight, and also because that would make sense. The loser of the title fight isn't going to fight Carla. Carla's going to fight the winner of that fight, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then Joanna is either going to have to step up and take on a top contender in Marina, or Marina's going to have to fight the loser, like I just said. So I think those are probably the 2 most, I would say, obvious options.
Do you think Joanna fights again?
I think so. I haven't seen her say anything about her not wanting to fight anymore, but she's accomplished everything already, man. I wouldn't blame her for stepping away, especially after that Whaley fight. She laid it all out on the line in that fight. So
ending her career on the greatest women's fight of all time.
It could be a potential. I mean, it just really depends. What does she want out of this sport? Does she just want another paycheck? Does she want to be a champion again? Those are two questions I think that we need to get answered.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she'll come back and fight again.
Mm-hmm.
She's still pretty young. She's still got skills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she took Wei Li to the brink.
And
Who's fighting
arguably
for
won
the
that
title.
fight. Arguably
Yeah,
won.
it was really close. It was really close on a lot of people's scorecards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think she fights again.
It has been a while. Of course, her last fight was April of 2020, so about a year and a half at this point. I hope she comes back, man. I mean, she was some of the only title shots. That's not going to happen. Her next fight is not going to be a title shot.
No.
But her in Rodriguez, that just screams that easily a number one contender fight, and that screams one of the best fights we could see of the year. You know?
Yeah.
So, I think the ball's in Joanna's court on this one. It's really up to her. I'm sure Rodriguez would take that fight in an instant.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand is, what's happening to Mackenzie Dern? Obviously, she has a great ground game. The hand's definitely not there, though. Where do you think she goes now?
And that's always been my biggest critique of Dern, is I don't like her stand-up very much. I thought it has gotten better over time, but it hasn't taken the leaps and bounds of improvement that are necessary for her to succeed against these clinical technicians that can just piece you up. Like Joanna can piece you up. Wei Li, Rose, they can piece you up. Esparza is more of a well-rounded individual. I think she can just beat you with a great game plan. But I mean, some of the sharks at the top of this division, you need to have some sort of defense, some sort of offense in striking to be able to create a little bit of breathing room for yourself. And you can see it all night in this fight. Mackenzie just couldn't get going, and credit to Marina Rodriguez for putting it on her. But yeah, it just looked like she was a little outclassed.
Almost like Ryan Hall-ish or esque, in where they're obviously a ground specialist, so they bring the hands. But the only problem with being ground specialist in her case is that she only has a 20% takedown rate.
I think she was 1 of 8 for this fight, so even less than her average.
Yeah,
like about 12.5% for this fight.
Look at Blake, you freaking mathematician. But obviously, what I can conclude from this math is that it's not going to do for you at the top of this division. It's just not.
Yeah, unless you can get them to the ground with a better success rate and keep them on the ground and put them in dangerous positions. I mean, even looking at the stats, you can see it's 1 submission attempt for each fighter. For a ground specialist, that's not going to get the job done, especially when you're 1 of 8 for takedowns and 1 submission attempt.
It's not great.
Not a good look. Not a good look for a ground specialist.
Obviously, she has plenty of potential. She could still be a title contender in the future. I'm far from counting her out, but it's safe to say that she has some work to do.
Absolutely.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's not a knock on her. It's not. Yeah, it's not bad to have some work to do. It shows that she got this far with pretty much being a ground specialist. So imagine if she actually gets some hands going. That's lethal.
She just needs a little bit more training, man.
Right. Hey, but we'd love to hear what you guys think about that, whether it be UFC Vegas 39 or some of the specifics here, maybe the biggest winners, or what do you think about the future of Mackenzie, Dern, and Marina Rodriguez? But for going to say, speaking about these hands, Blake, let's talk about Josh Emmett, okay? Because I think it sucks. I mean, it's fair that maybe a lot of people forgot about him. He's still number 7 in the UFC featherweight rankings, but he's a guy that hasn't fought since last summer. So it's been a little bit, of course, trying to come back from a pretty brutal knee and leg injury where he tore his ACL and MCL and snapped something where his femur collided with another bone and it kind of broke his femur a little bit. And and then that happened like the first round, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was like first or second round. And he finished the fight and had the fight of the night or fight of the year contender.
I can't remember which round it was in, but I know it was during the fight.
Yeah. He broke the hell out of his leg. Is essentially what happened. And then still put the hurting on Shane Burgos, which was a great fight. But recently, he's put out on his Instagram hinting that we're close to a comeback. So, we have a already stacked featherweight division that just keeps getting better. And, I mean, Josh Emmett is only going to make this thing that much more interesting because, of course, you already have Alexander Volkanovski, who's chasing the status as the greatest featherweight of all time currently. Who knows? We might get Henry Cejudo in the mix. We'll see if we can get quadruple C. That's
C4.
C4. Dude, imagine that. Well, we'll see if that happens. But I mean, Brian Ortega's already there. Yair Rodriguez up there. Calvin Kattar and Giga Chikadze they're going to fight now. And I'm sure how I'm feeling that for Calvin, man. That's back to back tough fights there.
No kidding.
Oh.
No kidding.
So let's see how that goes. Arnold Allen's a guy that not a lot of people want to fight at this moment. Bryce Mitchell there, still undefeated. I mean, I can just keep on going on and on. This is such a damn good division, and Josh Emmett is in the thick of it. So he likely won't be coming back for like probably a guy in front of him, maybe someone around him, a little bit behind him. But who do you think he should come back and fight? And I know this is a tough one from a fan perspective, but just from a fight perspective, maybe Dan Ige wouldn't be too bad of a fight.
I mean, that would be a firefight.
Mm-hmm.
Does Edson Barboza have a matchup?
Not yet, but that's kind of a tough one to come back to with Edson.
It is,
especially the leg, the leg kicks and the leg injury.
I would say my top opponents for Josh would be for sure Dan Ige, Edson Barboza, Arnold Allen, because he's ahead of him. That would be an awesome fight for him to get. But
be badass.
I mean, it would be 6 and 7. So I mean, that fight makes a lot of sense, especially because everyone else above them is taken. I think besides maybe the Korean Zombie.
Yeah, nothing for Chan Sung Jung yet.
Yeah. Dude, Josh Emmett versus Chan Sung Jung would be sick too. I don't know if he takes that.
I think maybe at least one fight after coming back. But damn, that's a good fight. That's a good fight.
Bryce Mitchell, Sadiq Youssef. I mean, they're all good fights. Hopefully Josh Emmett gets a name with a little bit of some heat behind it, or at least a big name. So I'd probably be leaning towards the Dan Ige, Arnold Allen, Barboza fight.
I'm liking Ige. I think that's the best of both worlds. I'm not like calling Ige a bad fighter. I'm just saying matchup wise, it's a little bit more friendlier to come back to than maybe some of the guys directly next to Josh Emmett, which is Giga Chikadze and Arnold Allen, those kind of guys. Maybe a little bit lesser one, but still a solid fight nonetheless. Could be Sadiq Youssef, or like you said, I mean, you want to just Bryce Mitchell still looking for a dance partner.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did Youssef and Mitchell.
That too. I just want to see a fight, man. I need to see Bryce Mitchell back in my life. I need to see the camo Venom shorts.
Those better be a thing, dude. That better not be a myth.
If Venom messes this up, they're worse than Reebok, quite frankly. Even Reebok, for how bad they were, they still got Bryce Mitchell's camo shorts.
Yeah, after like 2 years. Let's not give them too much credit.
No, I'm not giving Reebok any credit. They blew it. But Venom, come on, man, give me those camo shorts. Because with the Venom kit, those could look sick, dude.
Oh yeah. Some of that real tree camo.
Oh yeah. I need it. And that Realtree camo with his name in American flag.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or maybe it just goes like a tan, maybe one of those. But Amy, just think if we're going full American there with the camo, with the flag.
Full American.
Dude, hey, he's one of the guys I want to represent in this country because he's a badass. He's a badass. I don't give a damn, man.
Don't go through his emails. Don't go through anybody's emails.
Oh, shout out to our resident Raider fan. If you want to hear something fun about John Gruden, go ahead and it'll be out by the time this episode drops. Go check out episode or my Week 5 Handful breakdown. Went in on John Gruden for a few minutes there, so you'll want to catch that. I'll probably have a segment on YouTube by the time this is out as well. Yeah, Blake, don't you just love it when I can plug?
Look at him if you guys are watching this, he's just looking at me. He just keeps giving me a side eye as he's talking all this nonsense.
No one cares. See, what's
no one
funny
cares.
Is
Raiders are about to win this weekend. We're getting off topic.
It don't
but
matter.
Raiders are beating the Broncos this weekend.
They're not. No, they're not. They probably are, but no, they're not. And what's funny, if you want a little behind the scenes on this one, so obviously we do this on Zoom. I have my computer, which is to my left. So technically, and now I'm facing at the camera, which of course here on video you can see me staring right at you right now. So I'm looking away from Blake, but occasionally I like to give him a little side eye. Let him know I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's what I'm
about.
saying. I don't like that. This looks a little disrespectful.
Well, you don't like this.
I don't like it. I want to slap you.
This is not conveying well over on audio, but you know it is what it is.
Yeah. Whatever.
Whatever. All I know, hey, sum it up. Please let us know who you want Josh Emmett to fight most, because I need it. I need Josh Emmett back in my life because he's one hell of a fighter. There is a reason that he is one of the guys I put as a clip to the intro of our MMA shows, because he's that damn good. He's a special fighter, and I can't wait to see that happen. Next thing, let's jump into Colorado in open scoring, because of course open scoring is what they're doing. They reveal the scores after each round, which is not something that anywhere does. This is something that's been talked about for a while. One of the kind of ways to and put quote unquote fixed judging in MMA and I guess combat sports, because boxing included. So what do you think about this, Blake? Do you kind of like this idea? Do you have some maybe possible alternatives that you think might be better here? Kind of what's your initial take on this?
Well, since it's not like the whole entire MMA community adopting this, I do like that it's kind of in one area where we can kind of use it as like a test, like a guinea pig,
Yeah.
and see how we like it, see how it goes, see if it makes sense. So I'm just kind of curious as to when we're going to, see it happen. I don't know if there's like a card coming to Colorado anytime soon, or if they're going to try to make one, or if we'll just have to keep our eyes on the regional scene over there. But I like that they're trying different things out, and at least you're not going to know unless you try. You can always just talk about stuff and say things don't work, but until you actually do it and put it into practice, you will never actually have that concrete data. So it's going to be nice to see it and react from then.
I don't necessarily see anything wrong with this. Not like a whole lot of downside to this, because it pretty much the root of it. At worst, it doesn't work and you move on. At best, it revolutionizes the way that we judge fights and display the judging. It's not really like you can lose in this situation necessarily, so I think it's worth a shot. But some of the other alternatives might be, and then this could also open up the door for more promotions and more states doing stuff like this as well. So I guess some of the stuff that you might be able to hear, maybe alternatives besides this, is some of the stuff that Brett Okamoto was talking about too on Twitter about this is, a couple things here that we could also try as well, Blake. Want to see get your opinions on this. What about half-point scoring? Where, like, hey, that was almost a 10-8, but not quite. So what if it's a 10-8.5? Because I know there's a lot of times where you feel like it was just about there, but not quite, and that might help fix it a little bit, or make things too messy.
That's interesting. I mean,
because
I guess that could kind of help.
You've had that feeling, right, where that's maybe a 10-8, but not quite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing is that you're still relying on one person's opinion. Well, I guess technically three.
Isn't that the root problem?
And not everyone is going to see it the way that you're going to want it to be scored. But I mean, half points do make a little bit of sense. Maybe when there's, I don't know, it could help, but it just seems weird and it looks weird. But
that's fair. Definitely not traditional. Or what about more 10-8s and 10-7s being introduced as well? I feel like this is a little more coming in boxing. I mean, watching, not a huge boxing fan, but of course I had to watch the Gypsy King take on the Bronze Bomber and whoop that ass, essentially, besides one round where he got knocked down twice. But boxing has a lot more times where you see a 10-8 round and a 10-7 round. So you think that MMA judging should be a little more, I guess, looser like that and not be afraid to use more 10-8s and 10-7s?
I already kind of feel like we have been seeing more 10-8s and 10-7s as of recent.
I haven't seen 10-7, but I've definitely seen an increase in 10-8s. I mean, compared to last couple of years. Should they just keep going in with that? Is that a possible solution here?
I think so. And I think another thing that I've seen on Twitter a lot too, a big complaint is people want to be surprised by the scores at the end.
Mm.
And I don't really think that matters. In my personal opinion, I don't care. I think it's actually going to bring maybe a better fight out of certain fighters
Mm-hmm.
if they know that they're down by a certain amount and that they have to get the finish. Or that,
Well, it would have helped James Krause and Tim Elliott this weekend, because especially what Krause said after that fight, where they didn't really know he was down. They thought it was up, and so he's kind of kicking himself in the butt for what their strategy in that third round there. This wouldn't have happened if it was in Colorado.
Yeah, and so that's one of the main reasons or arguments I've seen against open scoring, and
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of disagree with that. I think that would actually be better. I mean, almost every sport in the world has live scoring, doesn't it? Like,
Imagine
I don't know what other sport doesn't.
Or baseball games, they didn't show you the score till after the game.
Yeah, like no one keeps track on the scoreboard. It's just, they tallied up at the end.
Wouldn't that be weird? Dude, that would
make sense.
Imagine trying to follow that with like basketball or some high scoring game like that.
Yeah, you would really have to like go back and like actually keep a tally. Be like, did they really score this right?
Right. That's a really good point. I actually haven't heard that be brought up before. MMA is trying to go mainstream and trying to be like a normal, like, I guess, mainstream sports, put that in quotes. Sports show scores as they happen. That's one of the things I like about PFL, at least the broadcast version of PFL. Not. Also, I love the ref cam. I need ref cam in the UFC. But how they show like the live numbers with like the kicks and strikes and stuff like that, or the punches, I love that. I love to see everything live, because I at least personally, I would rather see the score as it happens instead of just like the whole. Because I guess my anticipation at the end is more of like I can't wait to see the score. It's more like, I really hope they didn't screw this one up,
When it's like you're counting on so much recollection, so much of your memory that happened. Like, everything's happening so fast in a fight. And especially, I mean, for us, it's probably happening at warp speed. Whereas, guys that are experienced in MMA, ex-fighters, stuff like that, it's probably not as fast to them. But for the casual fans, for the fans like us that aren't totally ingrained in, the mixed martial art world, it would be nice to have as much data and as much information as possible given to us during the fight, before the fight, after the fight, like to kind of paint the full picture.
Yeah.
And if the judges got to look at those, numbers, maybe that would sway some of their opinions a little bit. Not saying that that's where they should totally focus.
Numbers. They don't see striking tallies.
Yeah. So, I mean, you never know. If certain judges saw a certain number, it might sway them another way. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
But
I hate talking about judges just because there's so many damn things that goes into it. At the end of the day, you got guys like Sal D'Amato that just ruin everything because they're a piece of crap human, and humans make mistakes, especially one named Sal D'Amato. Bastard. Oh man, but I would love to see. Yeah, drop your opinion, whether it be in the comments or hit us up on our socials at Fourth Long Radio on that's Twitter or Instagram at Fourth Long Radio. Best of all, leave a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts with your opinion on what you think they should do, if and whether this will be successful or not. Now, one of the last things we want to talk about here before we get into UFC Vegas 40 is that on Tuesday, Monday, it broke that we're finally getting Leon Edwards versus, or was it Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday.
Yeah. Yep. Earlier this week, I forget exact day it broke. We got news that Leon Edwards is going to be fighting Jorge Masvidal. We're finally going to get the grudge match. We're finally going to get the resolution, hopefully, to the 2-piece and a soda.
3-piece.
3-piece. Thank you. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I swear, I got to start. Street Jesus is going to be here, man. He's going to baptize me real quick. If I don't, I got to get my head on a swivel. So I
let that one slide. He knew you didn't mean that.
Oh, okay. That's very nice. And I'll say three Hail Jorge's before I go to bed here. But
click your heels too.
There's no place like Jorge. There's no place. Wait, or is it there's no place like Miami? Oh boy. But what we got going on here is that this fight has been booked. It's going at December at UFC 269, and now.
Nice. I was just saying nice. You said
Nice.
69.
Oh, damn it!
Sorry. Can't resist.
I don't blame you. That's why I pay you the big bucks. Brandon Moreno in Defensa Figueiredo 3 was supposed to take place at that card. Now it's getting bumped to the following month in January, UFC 270. Of course, the headliner is going to be finally got Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou announced for that one. So what do you think here? Is it right that this is getting bumped from Jorge and Leon? And which fight do you think is actually the bigger one, or at least more popular one?
I think Jorge versus Leon, just because it's got a little more heat on it, even though it's been a while. I think there's a lot of people that are interested to see the resolution, as you said, to this fight. Figgy and Moreno, though, I mean, I kind of like how they get bumped to the Ngannou and Gane card because
you see the smallest men against
the baddest smallest man in the world versus the biggest baddest man in the world. Like it's great. I like that.
That's gonna be so weird. You're gonna see, because that's gonna be co-main and main. You're gonna see these two 125-pound guys walk out there, do their thing, which of course there's some insane athletes, and then you're gonna have two dudes, 6'5", 265 pounds, cutting weight to make the limit. If you're Francis Ngannou, just total opposite ends of the spectrum. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now we need to get, like, I know wrestling, they have like these things where they'll put two wrestling rings right next to each other and have like kind of two things going on at the same time. Can we get two octagons together at the same time and see two of the smallest people against and two of the biggest people fighting?
Like in the same octagon, or like in different octagons?
Right next to each other, so you can see the visual difference. Ooh, what do you think? Here, Blake, impromptu question. Who wins, Francis Ngannou or a tag team of Figueiredo and Moreno?
Francis.
Even two at the same time?
Francis.
Does it take... What about Figueiredo, Moreno, and Askarov versus Francis?
Francis.
Ooh. What about Figueiredo, Moreno, and Piotr Jan against Francis?
Francis, bro. I mean, you got to go a little higher. How many times
we taking Francis?
Dude, those guys aren't going to hurt Francis.
All right. Fine, I'll step it up.
He's a tank.
Josh Emmett, Figueiredo, Moreno against Francis.
It's going to be Francis still. It's going to be too easy. No offense to Josh. No offense to Figgy or Moreno, but
Volkanovski, Ortega,
it's just not in the competition.
Holloway against Francis.
I'd still take Francis.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to have to do something crazy
for
me to not take Francis.
Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal against Francis.
I'd probably still take Francis.
Okay, now you're tripping. Right?
No, I think I'd still take Francis, bro.
Oh my gosh. What's it going to take?
That's just, dude, that's too much power. Once he connects on one of them.
And Israel Adesanya against Francis.
Now that one's a little more interesting. Still take Francis, though.
Fine, we're just going to have to up it. We'll go Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz against Francis. There we go. Come on.
Yeah, well, Francis wins that one, too.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Dom Reyes is going down on the first swing, bro.
Yuri Prohaska and Jan Blachowicz against Francis Ngannou.
Yuri, huh? I like Yuri. I don't know. That one's a good one. Yuri's an absolute psycho. He's going to charge face first at Francis.
Come on, you got Francis one that's a psycho and one that has a noose. Okay. And you got Polish power.
Francis has... I don't even know what to call it. He has just insanity, in these paws of his.
All right, fine. Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane.
I'm gonna still take Francis.
Ooh, I'll take Cyril there, and Cyril should be the favorite. Don't at me. Ooh, I know the lines are kind of even right now. That's gonna be an interesting one once that comes up. And this is what. Fine.
Francis is gonna
Francis versus Gone and John Jones.
Yeah, I'll take Francis.
Oh my gosh. I hate you.
Why are you trying to get me to pick against Francis for, dude?
I'm just trying to see. It was just a normal question, but that kept on spiraling.
The only guy that can beat Francis on the face of this planet Earth is Stipe Miocic and Derek Lewis.
All right, what about Francis Ngannou versus Stipe and John Jones?
If it was Stipe and Derek Lewis, I would say those two would win.
That's what it takes for you?
Stipe and Derek Lewis.
All right, whatever. Fair enough. I guess those are two people that have beat him, so you're not wrong. But you're not right.
I am correct.
Oh, you're a pain in the ass to work with. I hate you so much. But going back to the original question here, with Moreno Figgy 3 getting bumped, I think this is the right move, and it's not necessarily a sign of disrespect, I don't think. Jorge Masvidal is arguably the second biggest star in MMA right now, behind Conor McGregor. One of the biggest names, biggest draws, the most hashtags, he gets trending the most, and this is huge, man. This is a really big fight. Now, like I say, I'm excited that we're finally getting it. And now all we need is Jorge Masvidal to beat Leon Edwards, Colby Covington to beat Kamaru Usman somehow, and then we get Kamaru or Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal for the title.
Ain't happening.
No, it's not happening. This is 100% a dream, but
maybe Jorge could win. But even if Jorge wins, dude, like, was he gonna get a third title shot? Come on.
No.
He's finished.
He'll have to knock out Colby Covington on his way there. And Leon Edwards, probably. Yeah, so we'll see what we can get from there. But let's cap things here with UFC Vegas 40. And this isn't necessarily a bad card. I know that there's actually no fighter that is ranked for their division on this one. Aspen Ladd is a ranked fighter. In the bantamweights, this is a featherweight fight. So, there's no ranked fighter on this. But don't let that distract you, because there's still some solid names on this. Not only are we going to get to Blake Spangers here in a second, but we also got stuff like Aspen Ladd, Norma Dermott. Not a great main event, but if this was like something like just on the main card itself, that's a good fight. I'm excited to see Aspen Ladd at featherweight here in a new weight class. I mean, Jim Miller is about once he makes the walk this weekend, he'll set the record for most fights in the UFC. And then you got I'm awful light. It's a French name, so I'm probably not gonna pronounce this right, but Manon Fioro. It's been a while since I heard John Anik pronounce her name there, but all I know is that her last fight here in June, she put a beating down, got one hell of a TKO, and so I'm excited to see her fight here as well. But Blake, I know we have a bit of a tough one here for Blake Spangers, but let's see what you're able to come up with.
All right, this week we're going with the Mongolian. I'm guessing you say it Dana. I don't know how else you pronounce that. Danaa. Bat Gurel versus Brandon Davis. The Mongolian guy, Dana, his first two fights in the UFC have just been absolute barn burners. First round TKOs. So I expect him to go out there and come out with some fireworks. The next fight I'm going to choose, Julian Marquez, the Cuban Missile Crisis versus Jordan Wright.
And of course, real quick, the Cuban Missile Crisis, who won the altercation with Miley Cyrus. He came out there looking like a Chad, man.
Yeah,
power move, man. He turned her down.
Yep.
That's 10-7. That's 10-7, Blake.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good fight too.
Hey, Miley Cyrus over it anyway. Don't at me.
Jordan Wright has one loss, one no contest. Julian Marquez, 2 losses. So 2 guys with not too many blemishes on their record yet. Should be a highly competitive matchup.
2 guys that like to knock people out or get knocked out. So it's a good time.
Exactly. And then for the last banger of the night, we're going to go with Carlos Felipe, the guy that loves to flip people off in the octagon and talk crap, versus the old wily veteran ex-champion Andrei Arlovsky.
The Pitbull.
Kind of two guys in much different, phases of their career. Felipe on the come up, 26 years old. Arlovsky very much so in the twilight. No offense, my guy, 42 years old.
Yeah. I mean, just take a look at the records, man. Just take a look at the records. 11-1 to 31-20. You can tell which guys is coming in to the UFC and which guy's kind of almost on his way out. Almost, because he's still gatekeeping that top 15.
Yeah, he's still putting on good fights. So
yeah, and he's still getting dubs too.
Yeah.
Good man. Cracking heads, collecting money.
I'm feeling pretty good about this week's bangers, man. I don't know. I think I'm going to make a comeback this week.
I think there are 3 solid fights here. And let's go ahead. Main event time, prediction time, Blake. How do you think this one plays out between Ladd and Dumont?
Man.
Because I tell you, I'm excited to see Aspen Ladd at featherweight, because her weigh-ins, even when she does make weight for bantamweight, they don't look great, man. They don't look great. What was it? Was it a couple years ago when she fought didn't she fight like Jermaine Durand? I mean,
yeah, and she got beat up pretty bad.
She got murdered.
That was in Sacramento.
That was the second. That was right. Faber's return fight in the.
Yeah.
Remember who he fought and got destroyed by?
No, dude. That was when he fought Ricky. That was when he fought Ricky Simone.
Wait, that wasn't the Piotr Jan. Oh,
that was when he fought Ricky Simone
Piotr
and knocked
Jan
his ass
was the one
out.
after, right?
Yep.
Yeah, my bad. That's why I got Blake here.
You got you, bro.
Hey, but yeah, no, Aspen Ladd looked awful at weigh-ins, and then she looked awful in that fight. Honestly, should not have fought that one. And she's a big woman, She's not small. And so I'm excited to see her, and she looks great. She looks powerful at 135 when she's drained. I like seeing her closer to her natural weight here. And I think this is going to be better for her in the long run. She's going to have more power, a heavier chin, and I think she puts on a better performance here. And I really like her chance in this fight. I'm excited to see what version of Aspen Ladd we get here.
Yeah, the only thing that sketches me out with Aspen is just how long it's been since she's fought. And that's probably why I'm leaning more towards Norma Dumont. Just because she's gotten some experience in this division before. Mm-hmm. She's beaten the likes of Felicia Spencer. She's fought Megan Anderson, even though she got, knocked out.
Yeah.
But, I just think that she might have a little bit easier of a path to victory. She's a little bit bigger than Aspen Ladd. She's been more active. Mm-hmm. She's fought at this weight class before. I think I'm going to have to lean towards the Brazilian Norma Dumont.
And of course, her last fight was most recently in May. That was a win over Felicia Spencer. Aspen Ladd's last fight was last December against Yana. You know her last name. I'm not even going to attempt it. And that was a fun fight too, where her corner was being real saying that she needs to get going because she was getting her ass whipped against the cage, and she comes out and gets the TKO just seconds into that third round. So I love the power. That's
Tiago's girl, right?
Yeah,
Tiana?
that's Tiago's fiance, I believe, or girl.
That was in 2019, dude. That wasn't in 2020.
Sorry, 2019. I am big tripping with that one. It's been a while.
Crazy. That's the one that she messed her knee up.
Yeah,
right?
Because I believe it was the one before that, because her and Josh Emmett were in the training room at the same time, right? In 2020. Wait, yeah, she heard it in camp, I believe, not in the fight.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. All I remember is her and Josh Emmett, same injury at the UFC PI, but it was opposite knees, so together they made one complete lower body. And almost the same size. Well, technically, they fight the same weight too now. So,
yeah, now.
I'm excited for that one. So we'll see who gets it right. But I'm looking forward to this card. It's not necessarily it's not a stacked one, but it's a solid card. And so don't sleep on it just because of the main event or the lack of rankings. That's all I have to say on this one. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cap things off. Of course, how else do we cap things off than with the Nene of the week? And this week's Nene is going to go down to something that just is a little more recent news, and that's Luke Rockhold. Of course, he has pulled out of his fight UFC 268 against Sean Strickland. And I'm not too surprised that this happened because, I mean, look how stacked that card was. Blake, we've been talking for a while now that there's at least going to be one fight that's not going to happen. I mean, they're still looking for a replacement there for Strickland, but we knew at least one of those fights is going to get scrapped. And it's not Luke Rockhold's jaw that's the problem this time. Now, instead of a glass jaw, it's a glass back with a disc there, right? He got glass discs in his back is essentially what happens.
Yeah, it was like a herniated disc or bulging disc or slip disc, something like that.
Yeah. So we go from a guy that has no chin, now he has no back. So the winner of this week's Nene of the Week award is the glass spine that Luke Rockhold has. Tough scene.
That's jacked.
Oh, just like his back, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here this week at UFC Talk 61. Now, of course, make sure to like, share, and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Make sure to check us out everywhere, socials. Just go on over, do yourself a favor, thefourthandlong.com or thefourthandlong.com/MMA. Like I said, that interview with Jared Bear Fiorda comes out on Friday, so make sure to stay tuned for that one. And a quick thank you to our amazing Patreon supporters there. Of course, you can, for just starting at $1 a month. We're working towards getting Blake paid. We're getting closer. But you gotta help us out. So go on over and just starting at $1 a month, you could become a Patreon for us. Get access to some behind the scenes content, some bonus stuff there, depending on what tier you're on. Also, discounts on merch. So that's always some great stuff there as well. And of course, huge shout out to our patrons, Ray Rodriguez, for all your card collecting needs. Go on over to @TheBigBatBox on Instagram. And shout out to Ryan Watson and Neil Wiley. But Blake, your thoughts on UFC Vegas 39 in one word or phrase?
Should I be mean or should I be nice?
No. What kind of mood are we in right now? I was mean with Luke Rockhold, so I mean you can go ahead and bandwagon on the mean.
I was gonna say snooze. It's pretty snoozy.
Nice one? Let's get a nice one then. You're struggling.
I didn't completely fall asleep.
Hey, we didn't completely fall asleep, just kind of. All right.
Maybe because of the timing in the day, but we don't have to add that. We can edit that out of the podcast.
No, it's not. It's staying right in there because I am too lazy to edit that out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here this week. Make sure to check out all of our shows, our interview coming out, and we'll see all of you after UFC Vegas 40.